All right, Oklahoma fans, it's time to bring that other orange. That the second of the lesser evils, to where at least they sort of have Oklahoma in their name, right? Oklahoma State into our stadium in Norman for the first time since I believe it was Landry's freshman year, which would have been 08. That happens this weekend, this Saturday on ESPN. That will do the game. And hopefully it'll be a little bit more entertaining than it was last time. The last time it was kind of hard to forget that game. That if you're an Oklahoma fan, if you're an Oklahoma State fan, it's not so hard to forget recent history. By the way, they won the Big 12 in doing that. We'll find out what's going to happen, in my opinion. Injuries, bowl records, division championships. Last time these two teams met, the biggest wins for these teams. Who's calling the game? All this coming up on the Bedlam Pregame Show. Only right here on 1982 Boomer Sooner. Alright, Sooner Nation. You take on the Cowboys. The battle from Oklahoma takes place this weekend on Saturday at 2:30. If you're not going to be one of the 85,000 crazy Oklahomans in the stadium, you can watch the game on ESPN regular. So that's not ABC Regional, that's not ESPN2 or anything. That is ESPN. Bob Weissnick on the call. Weissnick will be joined by Danny Cannell and Maria Taylor on the sideline. The thing to know about this Oklahoma team this year, this is the final time that they're going to play in Norman. And Oklahoma has lost the last 2 times they've played ranked opponents in Norman. Now, know this too. Oklahoma State is not anywhere close to the level that Notre Dame and Kansas State are, but it is what it is, and Oklahoma's lost the last 2 times they've played ranked opponents in Norman. The last time these two teams met, Oklahoma State slammed Oklahoma pretty hard. 44-10 loss in Stillwater. Congratulations to Mike Gundy. That was Mike's first Gatorade bath as a coach or a player, victory-wise, over Oklahoma. Congratulations to him. The biggest win in the Stoops era, of course, was Mike's 44-10 win last year, which helped Oklahoma State clinch the Big 12 regular season championship. The biggest win for Oklahoma during the rivalry was a pretty exciting 47-41 game 2 years ago that helped them win the Big 12 championship later on that year over Nebraska. Helped them clinch the division. The most memorable clip I have of this series, back in 2004, Les Miles, now at LSU, was not at LSU yet. He was making a name for himself at Oklahoma State. He was talking to the former Steeler, Lynn Swann, and basically he asked him, you've beaten Oklahoma the last 2 times you've played them. What's it going to take to get the third time's the charm, to get the third one back here in Norman? And he said one of the best clips I've ever heard. This is when Les Miles started to get the big head, and he says, just let her rip. That's what he said. Let her rip. Well, Oklahoma did rip. Ripped on a pair of touchdowns and turnovers on that drive, that game. Division championships, titles for the two teams. Oklahoma State has 2 division titles or conference titles. They have them in 2010 and 2011, so they have the last 2. The last one counts. The other one doesn't. They tied with Oklahoma. The other ones include 2000, the regular conference titles for Oklahoma. Division championships include 2000, 02, 03, 04, 06, 07, and 08, and 2010. That's all of them. Big 12 championship games. Oklahoma State has never played in the Big 12 championships. Never. As that 2010 year, they did tie with Oklahoma and Texas A&M for the title, but Oklahoma went, being the highest ranked team. But they've never been to a championship game. Championship games for Oklahoma, they have been to a couple of them. They were at the one in 2000 when they beat Kansas State in Arrowhead. They were there in 02 when they beat Colorado in San Antonio. They beat Colorado again in 04 in Kansas City. They beat Nebraska in 06 in Kansas City. 07 and 08, they beat Missouri. 07, they played them in Kansas City. 07, they played them in San Antonio, 08, they played them in Kansas City. And then 2010, the most recent one, they beat Nebraska in Cowboys Stadium for that title. BCS records under Mike Gundy. Bowl record, I should say. 2 for 2 in bowls. 8th season for Mike Gundy. They have been to a BCS, and they won it 31 to 38 over Stanford in the Fiesta Bowl last year. Oklahoma 7-6 under Bob Stoops in 13 years. Last year, when Mike Gundy got his win over Stanford, Oklahoma got a win over Iowa 31 to 14. There are a whole heck of a lot of injuries listed on this side. Oklahoma, of course, the offensive lineman Adam Shutout injured with a knee. He's probable. Lane Johnson probable. Marshall Munsell out with a knee. Tyler Evans is out with a knee. Tyler McNamara has his shoulders out. Suspensions have gone still on for Trey Franks, Quentin Hayes, Jazz Reynolds, and Bronson Irwin is probable for this game against OSU. For Oklahoma State University, Jonathan Horton, the tight end, no reason given. Tracy Moore out with an ankle, wide receiver. C.J. Curry, shoulder, is out with the shoulder. He's one of their receivers. Jonathan Griffin, one of their corners and defensive backs. He's out with a knee. Jeremiah Tishaminga, he's out. He's one of their linebackers. He's out. The next couple of them are questionable, like Isaiah Anderson with a finger. He's questionable. Former great high school quarterback Wes Vunt had a concussion a couple weeks ago against Kansas State. He's supposed to be back. Calvin Bennett out for personal reasons. And the backup, the original second-string quarterback, J.W. Walsh, out with a knee. He's probable for this game against Oklahoma. In fact, I expect to see quite a bit of that last guy, J.W. The washing machine, I guess is what they're calling in Stillwater. You got the bulldozer here. You get the washing machine down there. That guy's a stud. A lot of people are questioning, did he really have a knee injury a couple of weeks ago? Did he not? I'm not going to get into it. He's probable, and I expect to see quite a bit of him in the goal line offense. Offensive goals for this team. Offensively, just like last week, You have got to get started quickly on this team. Either one of those guys, the aforementioned Lunt or the aforementioned Walsh, or even the projected starter for this game, Shelf. Either one of those guys can throw for 300-400 yards a ball game. So offensively, you got to be ready to get and go. Confuse them, make them make you score. Defensively, you've got to be careful. OSU loves to score. You can't have more than just one linebacker in there this time. Oh, no. Joseph Randall is too good for that. If you have just one linebacker in there, Randall will go like you wouldn't believe. He's probably one of the better running backs in the Big 12. Damian Williams gets a lot of pub, the kid out of Oklahoma. But I think that Randall is on that same high pedestal of Big 12 running backs. And special teams, just keep on doing what you do. Make your field goals, keep them inside the 20-yard line. If you do that, Oklahoma should win this ball game with it being at home. Don't forget, 2:30 ESPN is game time. Also, the Don Key Award will be given out this game. So get there. Kickoff's 2:30-ish as far as ESPN's concerned. So be in your seat around 2 o'clock at the earliest. They're going to do the Don Key Award. They're going to represent all the seniors. Tress, Landry, all these guys are going to get massive love from the fans. But as far as this game's concerned, that's it for the pregame show. See you for the postgame show. And as always, Boomer Sooner.